Let me show you what care looks like for this special crab in rehab. As of now, and because of his health, he's living in one of these 10-gallon quarantine tanks, just using a plexiglass lid there. Unlike our other crabs, he's actually living on just sphagnum moss, just really nice moist sphagnum moss, and I picked out a hide for him that is very rounded and doesn't have a lot of rough edges. And this is because of his pincher. As you can see, his large pincher, which should look like that, is completely broken off on that bottom part. He's also missing part of one of his legs, and before that, before the molt, which inevitably caused this, the surface molt, he was very deformed. I actually have one of his molted legs here. You can see that's the only position that leg could go in. Yeah. But yeah, because of that, he's got a little bit of a different care system. So let's get into what that looks like. So day to day, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the shells here that he can change into, but take out the food shell. Gonna get that dumped out. There's a big poop there. We're gonna get him some food. First one is Cranberry Pumpkin Spice by Hermit. Next is Manhattan Clam Chowder by South of the Ocean. Gonna give him some blue spinula, some honey granules from Hermit, and finally some broccoli powder. Which, by the way, this and the spinula is from Bioactive FX. I think I forgot to mention that. There we go. Not the most aesthetically pleasing, but that's not what matters. And if you're wondering, the reason we did mostly powdered or very fine foods is because of that pincher. Normally they use their large pincher to hold things and their small pincher to rip off pieces. But because he doesn't have a large pincher, he can't hold things, so it's harder for him to get small pieces, so we use mostly powdered foods. Before I add that back in, I'm going to move some of this stuff around a bit. There we go. I just flipped the shells over, fixed this a bit, those a bit. Also, if you're wondering about the algae, that is purposeful. They can eat it. I actually seed all of the quarantine enclosures and rehab enclosures with algae from my aquariums and pond for this purpose, so don't worry about that. But yeah, gonna set his food in right there. And the next step for this guy is to actually sanitize the wounded area and then give him his pain meds. First, I drip betadine onto the exposed areas. Then I actually run him under some warm water to rinse as much of it off as possible because we want to avoid poisoning with this. I'm going to do that off camera to be able to focus on it more. Then I add a high percentage lidocaine ointment to the areas. And finally, before setting him back in, I do a quick look over to make sure that there's no new issues popping up and that he looks healthy otherwise. Finally, he's let back into his home. Quick disclaimer, a lot of the care shown in this video is not right for the average hermit crab, as it is tailored specifically to him and his needs with his condition, so do not repeat what you see in this video, especially things like the whole rinsing out of shell after betadine. They actually keep a specific mixture in their own shell of salt and fresh water, so that can mess up their system if you don't know what you're doing.